Hey everybody, it's Brooke. I am going to do some mixed media playing around on my Gelli plate, and I actually recorded this as a video with no sound again. So we're trying a voiceover and some speeding up, very fancy. Anyway, I have my little Gelli plate, and I have my Paschal markers and some alcohol markers and my Archival inks, various acrylic paints, and some different rubber stamps. Doesn't matter what paint markers you have. If you don't have Posca, that's fine. Doesn't matter what alcohol markers you use. I have Spectrum Noir, but Copics or whatever you have will be just fine. And I just used the Archival inks again because it's what I had. And off we go. Oh, yep, got to clean up a little first. So I'm pulling out the alcohol markers, and I am doing the first layer with those. And I just picked out some various bright colors, and I'm using both the chisel end and the bullet end, making different marks here and there. That's a really pretty purple that you can hardly see, and a coral red. I am scribbling the markers off on my scratch paper when I'm done. As you can see, they start out dirty because they've been contaminated from what's on the plate. And I really should have done the lightest color first. Shame on me. So now I am pulling out the Archival inks. Again, I don't want to use a dye-based ink just because it'll beat up on the plate. The Archival inks will do a great job. And I'm using these paper artsy stamps. I don't like to use these with paint because I love them so very, very much. So I just grabbed them and I'm using them with the ink. Didn't put the stamps, I actually don't put any of the stamps on an acrylic block. I just use them in my hands and kind of make incomplete marks so that we don't have any real hard edges with those stamps. Now I'm using, I think, some green. It's hard to pay attention to this and keep the chat even remotely close to what's happening on the screen. Again, we haven't done this before, so be nice to us, okay? Oh, that's me drying it. Yeah. And those are my Posca markers that I'm pulling out. These are what used to be the large ones, and they are a bullet tip. I think they're larger. I know they're larger ones now, but I just showed you the number. That is how you order them. And they have these on sale right now, and this is June of 2020. They are on sale at joggles.com. And I actually just ordered some because I've had these for probably 5 years and a couple of the colors are running out. You can see me priming them over on the side, trying to get my black and white to work. So again, just mark making here and there. If you want to see what's going on, you know, what you've got down there, you can turn your plate over. If your plate is pristine like this one was, it didn't last long, let me tell you. It is no longer pristine, and I'm glad. So I'm just doing some borders and some dots and some scallops, nothing very technical, nothing very artsy. Now I'm moving over to the finer point, and these used to be the fine point, but now I know they're ultra fine points and much smaller ones. I don't know that I would go much smaller than this or finer than this because I think the tips might be sharp enough to damage your plate, but I'm not positive. These do a great job though. It does feel funny to draw on your plate, just so you know, because it does have some give and it's kind of wobbly, but you get the feel for it really quickly. So that's where we are so far. Now I'm pulling out the black Poscas, and I want to write the word love in my black Poscas because, well, you know, you're going to be pulling it up. You have to write it backwards. And since I can barely spell going forward, I thought I would just take a little practice run up there to keep me going the right direction or the wrong direction, as the case may be. And again, we're just layering the colors, we're layering the mediums on there to get, we'll get different layers and different amounts of transparency and opacity, and the final effect is just cool. Here's the Tim Holtz stencil that we all love. I think it's called Measured. And I'm just using some acrylic paint, and the wild hand gesture was to remind you to put it face down on the plate. Again, if you want the numbers to face the right way when you pull it, it's got to be backwards on the plate. I do talk with my hands a lot. It's true. It's true. But at any rate, any old acrylic paint will do. I'm just using some, I think it was Basics, which is just a Liquitex student brand. And I'm using primary red, going with that bright theme that we have going. And just using a dollar store cosmetic sponge to pounce it through the stencil a little bit. I'm going to set it all aside to dry. And this is what we have when it's all dry. On a clean sheet of white paper, hopefully you can see a whole bunch of the layers. But now it's time for the final magic. So I've got some System 3 white acrylic paint. This is, I don't think it's a Walmart brand. I think it's Daler Rowney. But I did get it at Walmart. It was not very expensive. And I really like it. I like the consistency of it. You want to put down enough to get a nice thin coat. You don't want it real shiny or gloppy on your plate. Oh, yep, it is Daler Rowney. I can see it up there. But it's not very spendy, so no worries. And I'm going to roll this paint out. I think I have a moment after I roll it out. I consider putting on a little more paint, but you don't want to roll it too many times. You just want to get it thinned out and evenly applied. But you'll start lifting all the acrylic off the plate if you keep messing with it. So, yep, I was debating, do I put more on? I don't know. Now I'm putting on, it's just a piece of heavy copy paper, and I'm rubbing it. And I think the mark is going to speed this up because I was making darn sure that that was good and rubbed. There was going to be no millimeter unpressed. And that's me just showing you how it looks on the back. So that's pretty much how our print should look when we pull it. I think I just flipped it upside down so that when I pull it, you'll see it upside down first. But you can see there the plate is becoming quite clean. We're getting almost everything off there. Some of the darker colors will leave a mark on your plate. Doesn't hurt it, doesn't ruin it. They will eventually come up. And ta-da, look at that. Mixed media pull, all in one pull. Throw everything at your plate, you guys. It can take it. Have fun.